Anton Phillips, hello. What a perfect person to come and press the button on the old randomiser for us today.
Alrighty.
Where would you like to stick your little finger today?
That one.
That button right there, yes. We have several buttons on here now. And now as it makes its selection, which series are you hoping to come up on the randomiser today?
Space 1999?
Space 1999 would be a well, now look at that.
Look at that.
You've got the magic touch there. I think you are the first guest who's pressed the button on this who's actually produced an episode from their own show. Yep. It's an episode of Space 1999. As we've said, this is Alpha Child.
Ah, that's
so, yes, indeed, that one. So, thank you very much. Would you mind coming back next week to do it again?
Of course.
Brilliant. See you then. Thank you very much. So we now welcome back to the randomiser Space 1999. First season, it feels like an eternity since we were last here, and we open with a nice happy scene of the first baby born on Alpha.
11 ounces, dark hair, blue eyes. He's beautiful.
Aww. And of course he's got a full head of hair, as all TV babies have to do. And I do like the reactions of the various characters here. The men all shaking each other's hands as if it's somehow something relating to them, and Sandra getting her little moment of
I'm happy.
emotions that probably even she can't understand, so Koenig isn't even going to try.
Are there any complications?
None whatsoever.
No, wait until after the opening titles for the complications. I also like how Barbara Bain, A, looks really tired, but B, looks really happy, as she would do in this situation. Aww. And that extra who just left, the nurse, is... I didn't realise until the Space 1999 Vault came out, that's Andrea Allen, who was an extra in UFO. I don't think she was in many episodes of this, but it is quite obviously her. And Sid Heyman as the mother, Sue Crawford. And there's little Jackie. Ah, nothing bad is going to happen to him. Cue ominous light from space. But this is an episode I have mixed feelings about. But I do like the horror element in the first half, particularly this pre-titles. The sudden metamorphosis happens off screen. You just hear the beeping, and then 5-year-old boy clawing at the glass. Oh, I'm Anton Phillips. I'm Dr. Matthias. So we are now back from the opening titles. And actually, you know, I was sitting here thinking, how amazing is this now that A, we are on video. I hope you're all enjoying it. But B, that we can have people who are involved with the productions come in and press the button on the randomizer. It is quite something after 250 weeks to have actual people from the shows pressing the button. It's amazing. And of course, this is a Space 1999 episode selected by Space 1999's own Anton Phillips. What could be more appropriate? Anywho, with poor old Sue under sedation, we now have to deal with little Jackie.
Well.
And everyone has a varying degree of reactions here.
Hello, young man.
And what I like is, considering how this later goes, that Koenig is the most open to it, whereas Helena is obviously in a state of extreme shock. You know, Koenig is quite clearly stunned as well, but he is like, okay, this is still a person. Something strange has happened to him. He's still one of my people. Let's see if we can help him a bit.
He's got to be 5 years old.
I don't know. This whole thing is totally beyond normal medical experience.
And I believe the name of the young Jackie here is played by a young actor named, I think, Wayne Brooks. I apologise if I've got that wrong, but I think he gives an incredibly sinister performance throughout this episode, and that's a lot to ask of a child actor, but he does very well.
Psychological problems, medical problems, things we could deal with, but this...
And I also love the sense that you get with this episode that this is a community, and a community that has been sort of looking forward to this day, you know, collectively and individually, as Helena said there.
That could have something to do with it.
It's his father's fault. But of course, his father, I believe, is deceased, as shall we say, a pre-stardom Rula Lenska is here to tell us.
I know. He spent all of his working hours in here.
But the place was torn apart when he died.
I think she actually doesn't even get credit for this scene. I also love how this is obviously the nuclear generating area set from Force of Life, which is an enormous set, looks great. And, you know, having built it for that episode, they now have no reason in subsequent episodes to use it. So now it's back for this episode, and it's crawling with extras in a way that it wasn't in previous episodes.
You mean we cannot ever expect to have normal children?
This is another lovely scene as well, and again, this is a fine exhibit to anyone who criticised the show for wooden performances and characters. It's lovely to see these 5 regulars all have their own view on what's happened. And I like as well that Suzanne Roquette's there. Even though she has no dialogue,
Jackie Crawford's death.
I like that she is considered regular enough to be part of this scene. And even with no dialogue, she's doing a great job in the background there as well.
Yeah. We'll have to do something.
And I also, when I first saw this, I assumed that Jack Crawford must have been someone who died pre-breakaway. You don't ever get an explanation of who he was, other than that he died 7 months ago, and that his wife was, obviously pregnant with Jackie at that time.
So responsive.
I suppose, it doesn't really need to have an explanation of when he died, because, people drop dead left, right, and centre in this show. I also like there, it always makes me smile, that prop they've given Jackie to play with is, that's a surgical laser. Why are 2 trained, competent doctors giving children a surgical laser?
Our first concern is how we're going to look after him.
Second concern is, why are we having this conversation on the nuclear generator area
I
set?
think we've got to give him the best chance we can.
Again, it is just, we've got this set, got to make use of it. And I think they made use of elements of it in later episodes,
Maybe we'll never know.
even into the 2nd season, I think. Again, Rula Lenska milling around as an extra in the background there. Yeah. I like that as well, that it's just, at first, some of the Alphans are prepared to consider this is just one of those space things.
No new facts, no new answers. It seems.
And there he is. And I also, again, going to all the extras here, let's see, I'm trying to pick out names. Oh, Sarah Bullen there, Loftus Burton, is that Chai Lee? Or is that someone I've invented? I love how everyone is instantly uneasy except Alan, who's like,
And what's your name?
you're my new friend.
Oh, Jackie, huh?
And
How'd you like to come flying?
it's in scenes like this where you think back to what you've heard about the origins of, well, the beginnings of the series and Nick Tate's involvement or possible lack of involvement with it. And you just think, this show without Nick Tate would be a very sad, empty place. I mean, they would have still done enormous work. Maybe they would have found someone who approached the same level of just charm and class, but Nick Tate just brings so much humanity to this show. And I think it's an energy that a lot of the other actors kind of pick up on.
Commander Koenig.
I like that reaction as well. And of course, it's Alan's acceptance of the kid that kind of wings everyone else over. I love that. And also something I love is, I think it begins with this scene, is that Jackie begins to take against Koenig. Yeah. And you can almost see the smile of a villain there.
Let's show Jackie something pretty. Come on, Jackie, here we go.
Stock footage of Brian Johnson explosions it is then. Yeah, I like how with this scene Jackie begins to take against Koenig, who was the first person to welcome him.
Want to see a pretty picture, Jackie? Watch.
Wow. Is that the best you can do? Okay, I don't know if the kid was directed to yawn there, or if that's just a happy accident, but that was class. Yes. There you go. Let him play with the buttons on the commander's desk. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I mean, especially considering that none of them are marked. Yes, there's a lot of them there. Yes, just some wonderful... This is a very sinister child. I don't know if anyone knows what became of him after this show. I hope he lived a long and happy life. I don't know if he did any other acting work, but he's a force to be reckoned with in this episode, which is quite surprising. Oh, maybe if I'd found some prettier pictures for him to look at. Oh, there's the space glowy thing. And our first appearance in this episode of Barry Morse. I think this was filmed when... Well, no, this wouldn't have been filmed when Barry was away on holiday, because Barry is clearly here on the screen. But I think the fact that Barry only appears in 2 episodes points to him having had some vacation time during the shooting of this episode.
Very good. Top of the class.
Again, another actor who brings great humanity to this show. But what I find surprising is, considering how many people say, oh, you really miss Barry Morse through the 2nd series, and I miss him certainly. I'm surprised how little you miss him in this episode. After this scene, I think he's only in one more. It's a very brief shot.
You've got the most lovely flower that you've made all by yourself.
This is The Joy of Drawing with Victor Bergman. And yeah, this is recycled Secret Service music.
His weight feels good. 38 pounds. He's making normal progress now.
Finding out all about us? Your father knew everything there was to know about this powerhouse.
I also like the lighting on the child's face there as well.
Oh, he looks bright enough.
I just keep trying to invent tests to find out how intelligent he really is.
I'm going to have to check the end credits to see if Rula Lenska is credited. She's had a lot of dialogue for someone that I don't think gets a mention on the end titles. But it's a very nice little montage of Jackie learning about Alpha and its people, and simultaneously learning about that flashing red light there. And again, the lighting over the eyes is very sinister. Well, she's nearly dead.
To recover from a state of shock. She's totally rejected the child.
Well, I suppose that's an understandable reaction.
Especially as we've kept her drugged since he was born.
She won't even see him. I have a feeling that if she could see what a comparatively normal life he's leading.
It's the manner of his growth that's so disturbing, Helena. I must admit, I can't accept him either.
It's the beginnings of a lovely story here. I'm sure other sci-fi shows must have done something similar to this. This feels very Twilight Zone, of a little boy suddenly, a baby suddenly growing up into a little boy.
Oh, sure. You've done it already. Oh, that's very... Would you like to draw some more? Yeah? All right, off you go.
Also an interesting attribute to the character that the Alphans believe him to be deaf, and I think evidence sort of backs that out, but it doesn't last. So I'm not sure why it's there to begin with. Aww. Also, the miniature commander uniform is quite sweet. Any young Space 1999 fans out there, did you ever have one of these as a kid? I don't think they were manufactured, but I'm sure you had a an auntie who would have made you one.
We're certainly making good progress.
Oh, yes. He's bright enough, all right.
Yes, in my experience, once toddlers get to the knows how to open doors phases, there's no stopping them.
Busy, Victor? I think all our inquiring minds have become just a little charmed with young Jackie.
You mean he's still under observation?
He's gotta be.
Oh.
Jackie? Can I see a drawing?
He senses that you're not as willing to be charmed as the rest of us now.
Oh.
Yes, Paul?
That was an unusual comlock noise there. I don't recognise that from any other episode. But I do have a comlock right here. This doesn't make any noise at all. It's a gorgeous prop though. More reused. Oh, I don't know if that's Secret Service or Joe 90 music. That's Secret Service music, yeah. Oh no, there's a green glowy thing.
Red alert.
We've seen enough of those to know that that's bad news. And behind it, oh, evil green spaceship.
Where did that come from? It's heading for the north quadrant.
Confirmed.
Who said that? Was that meant to be Sandra or Tanya? It didn't sound like either of them. So meanwhile, Jackie's drawing is revealed as a drawing of the spaceship that is approaching Alpha. Oh, this kid is a master in the sinister close-up. I don't know if he had, like, tutoring. Oh. Well, we may as well take a look out the window at it. So while everyone is distracted, here comes Jackie. Could be an alternate title for this episode, really. Here comes Jackie. And another sinister close-up as we go into the advert break. Yeah, definitely Secret Service music. Again, that there is as well. I think this is Last Train to Buffalo's Halt. I go up there in my Eagle, fly it around and look classy as heck.
I'll see you later. Huh? Hey, what's up? I'll be back.
Also very unusual to see this part of the main mission set, and I would have to assume that that was standing all the time that the set was. You see people coming in, from the perspective of being in main mission. You don't really see beyond that wall.
Open all channels for any response from them. Anything.
Alpha, any sign of activity? Nothing, Commander. Set the green light.
Oh.
No movement.
Well, yeah, very small
Just
green light.
hanging there.
You hang in there with them and report the first sign of life.
All right. Moving in a little closer.
Alan's got his trusty co-pilot with him. This is Pete Johnson, I think. Played by, I think the actor's name is James Fagan. Or Fagan, possibly. But he's, again, I think an actor who is in 3 or 4 episodes. He always acquits himself really well. I kind of wish he'd got a bit more to do.
Composition unknown. It's 100 meters in diameter, 40 meters high, yet it has very low density.
It's room for an army inside.
The computer finds some form of life indicated, but not human. Without previous experience, computer cannot identify it.
Ah, yes. We'll discover later that the ship is populated by, I believe, disembodied spirits.
They're waiting for the other side to make the first move.
So I guess they're not going to be in any position to attack Alpha, even if they wanted
Why don't
to.
they say so?
Alan's very close, Commander. I think we should make the first move.
I'm lined up, Commander. The laser charge is at maximum rate.
You want me to give him the good old Aussie hello? But of course, we get the feeling that Jackie is manipulating events. And people, possibly.
Alan, return to base.
Huh? 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 Lots of quick reaction shots there.
Why?
Why didn't you let me blow up the thing I wanted to blow up?
They could have blasted you right out of that sky, but they didn't.
Maybe they've got just what they want by keeping quiet.
Commander, we're wide open.
All right, let's put ourselves in their shoes.
Again, this sort of harkens back/forward to war games, where we have a very similar situation, and Koenig ultimately chooses the fire first and deal with the consequences later approach, which is kind of at odds to what he does here, and Paul and Alan are the ones who want to blast it.
After all, we're all afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, that's not a
Let's take Jackie Crawford.
a philosophy that the character would consistently pursue throughout the series, particularly into the second season.
You see, I don't know why he is like he is. I can't explain it, nor do I understand it. But I'm not about to shoot him.
Ah, you're a good egg. I think as well, maybe the child has possibly some slight makeup on. He looks quite pale. Oh, that's a creepy shot.
I saw him smile, and it sent a shiver up my spine. So knowing, almost as if he were mocking his mother's death.
Where is he now?
She's not dead yet, but she's nearly
He was
there.
near somewhere.
Somewhere.
Well, it's a big base. There's lots of pretty things to look at.
Jackie Crawford, and don't let him out of your
Lots
sight.
of drawing and colouring to do.
Helena,
I also love that he gives Paul the order to do that. Yeah. There's no one else on the base who maybe has a bit less to do than Paul.
Too bright. There's something else. Just a feeling I have, something I can't explain. But I trust it. I think he's fooled all of us.
Commander, 3 more spaceships approaching Alphans.
I think there's a connection. It's just a hunch. Helena?
But I'm the star of the series, and my hunches are always right, damn it. Yeah, I like that the threat this episode comes essentially from one of their own.
Let's see the ball.
Even though Jackie hasn't been there for very long, everyone is clearly so prepared to accept him. Even when he does weird things like that. Again, there's just the staring now.
I want you to lead 3 Eagles and intercept those ships before they reach Alpha. Shoot? No, just let them know we're ready for them.
Can I shoot something, Commander? I've not shot anything this week. Oh dear.
It's an attack. Alan, stop them.
Save us, Alan, save us. But of course, Jackie is... paralysed him, essentially? Yes, delayed him, certainly. And of course, only Koenig can see it. Because Koenig is just so damn hard. Somebody poke him with a stick. Come on, let's get the guy moving. Now, there's a video on YouTube, I think. I suspect it's probably being taken down, of... there was an old TV series, was it called Big John, Little John? And someone took the opening titles of that, the opening song, I should say, and set it to footage of Big John Koenig, Little John Koenig. I have no familiarity with the show whatsoever, so I may have got that wrong. If it's still around, it's quite fun, but... yeah, Jackie is now no more. He's gone bye-bye. Because Koenig looked at him funny. Oh, poor little guy in his little commander's uniform. Yeah, that's unfortunately, I think, the last we see of the little kid.
Cameras operating again, sir.
Yeah, quite a shame, because he's you know, the Anderson shows didn't employ too many child actors, but he was, I would say, probably one of the better ones.
Fire at will. Now you're talking.
Hey, halfway through the episode he gets to shoot something.
Up with manual override.
Manual override, they're moving very fast.
I said manual override.
There's a cover version of the Space 1999 theme produced by a group or an artist called Ambassadors of Om,
Manual check.
and it's as cover versions go, it's quite interesting because not only do they sample a very brief bit of the opening titles, the theme tune, they then recite lines of dialogue from various episodes, and that exchange there between Alan and Pete was one of them. Manual override, they're moving very fast. I wouldn't have said that was a particularly memorable exchange from the series. I think the Ambassadors of Om version is probably on YouTube somewhere. It's quite a catchy version of the theme, if just strange, for the fact that the people involved recorded themselves reenacting lines from the show. And not even iconic lines, just random lines. Anywho, I've waffled all over. Well, Koenig is face-palmed because Alan's attack did not go well. Luckily, the aliens neutralized the Eagles rather than destroyed them. Very gently set them down on the lunar surface. Meanwhile, Jackie is making all the medical monitors go screwy again.
Cell growth has accelerated far beyond the capacity of our instruments to measure.
Still increasing?
Yes.
What can we expect this time?
Oh.
How about
A 6-year-old, an 8-year-old.
It's gotta be more than a coincidence. The arrival of those spaceships and now this.
You say Jackie.
Look, you've got to stop calling that Jackie. But rather some alien power amongst us. Sooner or later we may have to destroy.
Ooh. It's a big...
John, it's a human being.
Yeah, it's a big issue for the episode to wrestle with. And luckily, they don't have to explore that within this story. But
Past waiting to see what'll happen.
there must be other similar stories. I don't know, would Village of the Damned be one of those? I've not actually seen it or experienced it, so I could be wrong, but the idea of a community having to turn on and destroy its own children because they fall into an alien force it's irresistible as a sci-fi horror story idea, which of course makes it perfect for 1999.
How do you think they'll respond if we kill him?
But it's a very heavy idea for a mainstream television series to play
I agree with
with.
Dr. Russell. At the moment our hands are tied.
So I'm back to pacing again, it's all I can do.
Get an eagle up off the pad. We couldn't be sure we'd hit them anyway. What happened out there, Ronald? Well,
I selected onboard ranging combined with manual
the
override.
simple fact is you weren't functioning
It didn't
properly.
work.
As a matter of fact, you were virtually incompetent.
Oh,
I'm not incompetent. No, but you were out there.
I like as well that he sort of was fighting words. Come on.
What are you trying to say to me, Commander? Alan, I think you were gotten to somehow. By Jackie Crawford.
Oh dear.
Jackie Crawford. That's right. All right, all this talk isn't going to help us any. But I do have an idea which might work. If the activity on the alien ship stops soon, then we might just have a chance. Like what? Well, it's quite primitive. My idea is to send 4 men on the surface, on foot, each carrying handheld armor-piercing lasers. They position themselves, one under each of the alien ships. They coordinate and fire simultaneously.
One of the things I love about 1999 is the idea of contemporary man going out into the universe that they're not ready for and encountering life forms that are far beyond them. You know, even with this episode, well, not so much this one, but others, humanoid life. You know, it looks like us, it's advanced far beyond us. I just love sometimes how, with this show, the plan has to be as primitive as Koenig says. They're very primitive. Just take a big gun, go out there and fire at the ships. It's not even going to scratch these ships. But let's have a go anyway. Let's have a go. It's also, yeah, I believe that is the only time you see Kano in a spacesuit. A lot of work getting Clifton Jones into the spacesuit for one scene. Because you never really see any of the actors' faces. You could have just got one actor and changed the name on the helmet. But Jackie's cell growth has ceased. What have we got under the blanket this time? Could be anything. Could be something really scary and sinister. Or it could be a very good actor with a questionable hairdo and an even more questionable costume. This is the point, and I said earlier I have mixed feelings about this episode. Up until this point, I feel it's been really effective. But with the introduction of the adult Jackie here, or Jarak as we'll come to know him, I feel we lose something. I don't know what it is. I think the costume does not help anything. Obviously, it's no fault of Julian Glover because he's just always a legend. But, you know, as cool as he is, now that we have him strutting about again in tinfoil underpants, making threats, the level of horror is reduced significantly. And obviously you can't sustain that for an entire episode, have the young Jackie all the way through and never really know what happened.
So many things we'd like to know also.
But it is just something, in that moment, my enjoyment of the episode takes a dip. I don't know. And again, it is a nice idea of the concept of an alien race that can take possession of human bodies, but only at the moments of birth and death. It's a very clever, very sinister one. Now, this music, I always skip this when listening to it on the soundtrack album, because it goes on for quite a while, and it is rather unpleasant to listen to.
You will tell me, Dr. Russell.
Oh, that, I don't know, honking noise, coupled with the eerie whistling. Yes. And again, we have some great lighting here. Poor old Dr. Matthias, there we go. This is what we covered in Anton's interview, or will cover, I should say, about Dr. Matthias's role in the series as a trouble magnet. But I always love with this show, something about this shade of blue is just great for horror stuff. Whether it is Breakaway or Force of Life or Troubled Spirit, just something about the medical centre, the blue light, Helena's often there alone, and the sinister whatever is lurking nearby. It's always just gorgeous, and I can't recall one instance of sinister blue light in series 2. Possibly someone out there can correct me, but dear. I do like the laser rifle prop as well. So, Helena fainted. Matthias has woken her up. They're still in there with Julian Glover. And he's still dressed just as silly as he was before she passed out.
Now you will stop them.
I think as well it's the medallion.
Stop them.
But you will.
Oh. But he has got a nice line in Creepy Stairs, much like the kid.
No.
Oh no. And now that he's older, Jackie can multitask. He can work Helena and strangle Matthias. Poor old Matthias. This episode's other alternate title might as well be Dr. Matthias's no good, quite awful, really rubbish kind of day. Because he's suffocated. I don't think he's punched. But he's put through the ringer quite a bit with this story.
You were right about Jackie.
I was right. My theory has been vindicated. Hooray for me. Ah, yes. Now, again, this starts off as quite a horrific moment as poor old Sue Crawford, who is herself having a no good, quite awful, fairly rubbish several weeks by this point, wakes up and sees the adult form of what was her son, and he begins staring her to death. I also wonder if it might have been fun to in some way represent Jack Crawford, the died off-screen Jack Crawford, as Julian Glover, And then when she wakes up and sees him in front of her, the shock is even more pronounced. Whereas here,
You've killed her.
Jarak has just stared her to death. But now he's got the green light shining into her eyes. You know, I think what I find silliest about this is the costume change and the fact that Sid Heyman is now about to look considerably more glammed up than she did a moment ago. I don't know, I think something might be more... It might be more horrific if they just let her look rough and done in and haggard. You know, fine for the aliens to take possession of her body at the point of death, but very nice of them to do her hair and her lips and give her new clothes. And, yes, probably the ickiest moment in the whole of Space 1999 here. Yes, mother kissing her son on the lips. Obviously, you know, they're not, but they kind of are, and it's just, ugh. That's always icked me out, and I know I'm not alone in that. So, Koenig has rounded up some of his faithful security guards. We've got the entrance to Medical Center covered from both ends. Yes. Oh, and that I would assume is a rare instance of you actually being able to hear the rollers of a door on the set. Because normally, I think, if someone walks through the door, you would hear that boom, sort of hum as the door opens and closes. You rarely hear that wooden rolling sound, which is interesting.
Tell everybody to put down their weapons, or I'll kill Alan.
What did I do? Well, I can't lead Alpha without Alan. I can lose anybody else, but not Alan. Yes, this, oh dear. Now we see the costumes in their full glory. And Koenig is just like, he's as stunned as I am by all this.
Thank you, Dr. Russell. You are now released.
I don't think anyone would have questioned if the revived Jarak and, what's her name? Oh, he said it and I've forgotten. I don't think anyone would question if they were still walking around in their old clothes. Admittedly, Jackie's mini commander uniform would have had to stretch. Sue Crawford. Oh no, that's the character's former name. I can't remember what her present name is.
Than you are commander of Moon Base Alpha.
So Jarak is still struggling with his words there. Now,
Like you, we are involuntary travelers through
he's mastered public speaking.
120 souls in all.
And, you know, when you cast Julian Glover, who's got a wonderful speaking voice, you want to hear him talk, and talk at length.
In which to conceal our identity.
He also gets a very nice line here.
I like the intuitive quality
Well, a slightly silly line that I'm surprised doesn't get more note.
I like the difference.
Let's see if we've got it here.
But on our planet, we faced extermination because we were different.
Walking around bare-chested with our medallions.
We are running away.
And I like, despite the fact that I've said I had issues with these characters, I like that they don't immediately come in as mwahaha, moustache-twirling villains. Admittedly, they're not far off, but...
You can't stay here. We can't sustain more people. Our environment here on Alpha is so precariously balanced, we can barely support ourselves.
Commander, there will be no population increase on Alpha. We shall simply take over your bodies and make them our own.
That's another line that they quoted in the Ambassadors of Om cover version.
The birth of Jackie Crawford gave me my chance.
It's a lovely
You
idea.
killed Sue Crawford. Dr. Russell.
Rena, that's her
There will be no
name.
more births on Alpha. But sadly, there will be many more deaths.
Oh, here it is.
I was very happy with my birth. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do much in an
I love
incubator.
that line. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an inherently silly line or if it's just the way Julian Glover delivers it. I was very happy with my birth. I rated it 8.3 at least.
Jared,
Oh, don't get too close.
you need us. I don't know your people, but they need us alive. You want to
I also like
We are ready.
the reinforcing of the idea that Alpha's life support system cannot support an infinite number. A, they don't have the space, but B, they just don't have the energy. Despite the fact that they've lost a lot of people by this point. There's that music I don't like again. And it's coming up on a rather interesting moment of horror, because I think Koenig would shoot Jarek to save Alpha, but we have a security guard extra who's about to get involved, and another extra is about to pay the price. Yep, there's a security guard extra jumping off a trampoline, pulling down the commander, and... oh no! It's a very sudden, very violent moment for a character that you've never seen before, the actual frame where he goes up in flames. Poor guy.
Your choice is between a future as one of us, or no future at all.
I would have to assume that guy is not dead because, he isn't instantly reborn as a glammed up, tinfoil wearing personage. I also love the extra standing next to him, which is Mike Stevens. I don't know if I've spoken about Mike Stevens, but he is a master at a look of concern. He's in all these ITC shows. He's in a couple of episodes of UFO, but he's in this first season all over the place. And I just love, it's his trademark look of concern. He's just, and there was a prime example. Someone explodes right next to him, and he's like, love it.
Themselves to those of your dying bodies
oh no.
have been selected.
I like as well that the security guards in Koenig, they aren't succumbing to this as quickly as everyone else is.
Lift off to a safe distance and auto-destruct.
The last
Yes, there's Andrea Allen again.
of our former life will be lost forever.
And I think we get Barry Morse's brief cameo here.
For your move.
Yeah, there we go. An easy day's filming for Barry Morse, I suspect.
The designated will die.
Also used in Ambassadors of On. They plunder this episode, in particular, quite heavily. Yes. And we now get a mini Matthias subplot, which is unusual for this show. I don't think it's deliberately written to give him more screen time, just that's the way it works out. Interesting there as well, you can see Anton's makeup is rubbed off on the carpet. I don't know if that was always visible on the DVDs, but it's certainly visible now on Blu-ray. So the 4 alien ships are now 3. Because another alien ship has turned up on the scene. We recognise that. I think that was later reused as the alien bomber in War Games. But regardless... oh no! They've found us. Time to make a run for it. And this is a sequence coming up here that rewards, if you're paying attention to extras, you will notice there's a scene coming up where... Jarek and Rena shoot a group of Alphans in a corridor. They all fall down. Shoot the Alphans, all fall down. And they run through the bodies. And Julian Glover, he's trying his best, but his foot treads on the hand of one of the female extras. And to her credit, I don't know her name, she maybe flinches just a little, but they don't call cut, they leave it in. This is it. And it's she's on the left, I think it's the yellow sleeve lady. There we go! Oh, it might have been the other lady. Makes me wince every time. And it's one of those things where you don't notice it initially. It's probably how it's got through. But once you notice it, you'll never not notice it. So, our small squad of Koenig, Carter, Helena and security guys are on the trail of Jarek and Rena. For some reason, Paul felt it necessary to go along as well, and is looking after the wounded, which is nice of him. And yeah, They've taken over Medical Center. Will this lady be able to stop them? No. Will Andrea Allen be able to stop them? No.
Don't be foolish, Doctor.
And Dr. Mathias shouldn't even try.
Computer. Medical center doors are to remain locked.
Now, having had trouble speaking initially, Jarek can now do impressions.
And now, Dr. Mathias, I hope you will help us to persuade your
this is an Edward D. Lorenzo script, and I find his...
One life for 300?
That's a nice moment for the character. I find his episodes uneven, to say the least. This, I think, is definitely the strongest. It's just a shame that we have this really good first half, and then, like a light switch being thrown, it gets a bit too silly. Not unenjoyably so.
We wish to negotiate.
And it doesn't really, rival any of the sillier moments from Series 2. Somehow I know that, despite not being in there.
Requests. We are no longer in a position to make demands.
I also like that as well. Going back to what I said about them not being moustache-twirling villains, they accept the reality of their situation. And they don't bargain from strength, they just have to bargain for their lives.
The combination of Alphan bodies and the minds of my people would have been a splendid one.
Again, another lovely line. It's just the way Julian Glover delivers it. He's got such a wonderful speaking voice.
You would have become part of us.
But we have failed.
Aww.
The rest of my people have been discovered and destroyed.
Were the rest of your people as glamorous as your lady friend there?
That we should be allowed to become part of you.
And I've often wondered over the years, what if they were? What if they were able to remain on Alpha? Obviously they can't, we can't add 2 new characters to the mix. But, yeah, would have been nice. Interesting angle to have 2, not only aliens on the base, but slightly, not only nefarious ones, but ones that wear the faces of two dead Alphans.
Appealing for mercy.
Oh. Well, mercy. Anybody know what that word mercy means? Not sure I do. I also like with Landau, when he's got a group of extras around him, like in that situation, he'll make eye contact with all of them. It's not just Bane and Tate he was looking at there. He was looking at Quentin Pierre and Tony Allen and the other extras. Yeah, it's the big spaceship that blew up all the other, not quite as big spaceships. Pulsating green light. Oh, that's what did for Dr. Breck that time.
Destroy us! They will destroy the whole of Alpha!
Oh no.
Unless what?
What can we give them? Do they want to meet Ruler Lenska? No. More Secret Service music.
Are you going to let Alpha be destroyed because of you?
Bom, 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 bom. Yeah, that's definitely Last Train to Buffalo's Hold. Which I suppose it makes sense for this show to plunder a lot of Secret Service music if it wasn't that widely seen. So, the aliens on the alien spaceship are bathing Jarek and Rena in a green light, and they seem to have died. And with that complete, off goes the alien spaceship. Probably to be slightly redressed for its appearance in War Games. I don't know, maybe it was left unchanged.
Commander, our thinking has stopped. The spaceship is leaving. It is going away.
It is departing. It is no longer here. And we're about to get a shot of Mathias that I find quite interesting. It's not a sort of, yes, I'm all right, Commander, I looked after everybody, I saved the day. Instead, what you get is something far more human. And I think it's an understated moment of the series, considering this is an ordinary man from an ordinary world who wasn't trained for anything like this. Yeah, why wouldn't he be in floods of tears after one of the worst days of his life? Considering he has a lot of bad days on Alpha, right? I really like that moment. It's so small, it's so understated. And speaking of moments that are impossible to dislike, Sue is alive again, so is little Jackie Crawford. They're both back to their previous selves.
Do you think they gave themselves up?
It's a nice thought, Helena. I don't think they have any choice.
Well, we end the episode how we started it, with a shot of little baby Jackie Crawford. Oh, he's so sweet. Well, there we go. That was Alpha Child, and as I said, that's an episode Rulenska doesn't get a credit. As I said, that's an episode that I really enjoy up to the midpoint, and then once Julian Glover comes on the scene, my enthusiasm for it just kind of falls away a bit. Through no fault of him, it's just a slightly goofy execution for the villains. So yeah, good first half, middling second half. Overall, still a pretty good episode.